Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rocks with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blogs. So let's get to it. All right, you guys. So first story up: the unfortunate and devastating fire in Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, France. Many looked on in horror as the centuries-old historical monument, religious building that stored many religious artifacts, priceless, art, paintings, and the such, burned down. Well, the cathedral did not burn down to the ground, but um, they're saying that amidst restoration projects within the cathedral that they were already doing since 2018, they suspect that a fire started somewhere in the elevator shaft. They're saying that on Monday, about 6:20 p.m., there was an alarm that sounded, but the computers of the alarm incorrectly placed where the fire was, so they weren't able to get to this fire. They thought maybe it was a false alarm. However, at 6:43 p.m., another alarm went off. At this point, the fire was raging and was pretty much out of control. By the time they got to where the fire was, it engulfed quite a bit of the building, got up to the roof, and people watched as the roof eventually collapsed within an hour. Hadn't even been an hour that the fire had been going. And just horrifying to see on the news, because this, like I said, is a historical monument that many people have gone to. They say 13 million people within a year visit every year to watch it go from like this beautiful structure to, charred rubble all in the middle of the sanctuary is just, oh, it's terrible. Now, even though you've seen on the news and seen the pictures of all that had burned down within the church, they actually was able to save quite a bit of that church. The inside is burned, but the walls are still standing, and yeah, you best believe they will definitely restore it. Also, many of the artistic artifacts that I was talking about were saved. So while it was a horrible fire, I guess it could have been way worse. Kind of makes me sad that I wasn't able to get there and see it before they've gotten to the point where they're going to restore, and a lot of the historical content has been just, washed away. This building has been there since 1345. Okay, they started building it in the 1100s, the latter parts of the 1100s, and finished in 1345. And yeah, just devastating to watch. In many ways, when you're watching it on the news, it was almost unbelievable. They don't suspect arson or terrorism or anything like that. They believe that it was an accident. They're interviewing the employees that were working on the restoration project. But like I said, they believe that it was a fire that started somewhere in the elevator shaft. So we'll hear more about that, but yeah, they are going to rebuild, definitely so. This fire in Notre Dame did bring attention to the three churches that were burned down here in the United States, in Louisiana, in St. Landry's Parish in Louisiana. There were three churches that were burned down starting at the end of March and going on to the beginning of April. St. Mary's Baptist Church, Greater Union Baptist Church, and Mount Pleasant Baptist Church. These three churches were burned down to the ground. And even though they happened before the Notre Dame fire in Paris, they weren't able to raise much money, $50,000. But after the burnings in Paris, it sparked the charitable donations of those here in the U.S. And so far, $1.8 million have been raised. Over $1.8 million have been raised for those three churches. Whatever they will raise in this GoFundMe campaign, they will split between the three churches. Now, the suspect of this horrible hate crime has been arrested. 21-year-old Holden Matthews, who happens to also be the son of a local deputy sheriff. He was arrested. 3 charges of arson to a religious building. They're saying that there may be more charges to come. And yeah, 21 years old, doesn't have any kind of criminal record, ruins his life like this, just ridiculous. And then also a son of the sheriff, or a son of one of the deputy sheriffs there. People are saying not surprising. I can tell you firsthand that Louisiana definitely has some racial issues down there. My son being there, my husband's family being there. Yeah, it's a lot that goes on there. So not necessarily all that surprising, but disappointing. He has a court date set for September. And I guess between now and then they'll figure out if they're going to charge him with more. But good to see that with all that's going on in Notre Dame and the billions of dollars that I'm sure they are going to raise to make sure that that place is erected back again. It's good to kind of hear that we here in our United States have not forgotten about home, and are making sure that, you know, those religious buildings that have been there over a century in Louisiana will also be rebuilt. So prayers up for everybody that's involved. I mean, I have so many friends that was posting pictures of when they were there, and just, you know, everybody just could not believe what happened over there in Paris. Also prayers up for those down there in Louisiana. If your church was affected, or if this has just put your own personal churches on guard. You know, it's a war out there, you guys, definitely so. Just praying for the protection of all of these people down there in Louisiana who have to even deal with things like this. Remember when I said that the church used to be sanctuary, and you could get away from, you know, the evils of the world when you were in church. There was a certain type of respect there. It is definitely not there any longer. So again, prayers up for everybody there. That is it on our national and world news. Child, I got to hurry up. I ain't got no gas. I got my air on. It is hot today. Wendy Williams. Boy, what a difference a day makes, correct? Yeah, I have been talking about Wendy Williams. You guys, we have been talking about Wendy Williams basically for the last few months, right? With everything that has gone on with her. We have turned a corner, haven't we? Seems that Wendy Williams last week, on the day that I posted Top of the Blogs, which is usually how it happens, after I posted Top of the Blogs, we found out that she had filed for divorce. She also served Kevin that morning. Unbeknownst to him, I guess he did not realize that it was coming. And quite frankly, I don't know if any of us really thought that it was coming. We all said that it needed to happen, which is a big statement, because who tells somebody that they need to leave their damn husband or wife, right? But it had gotten to that point where it was just like, okay, girl, it ain't nothing else. We just need to go on and just give it up. Okay, the man has a whole nother family some damn where. Obviously, he is in love with somebody else enough to create this kind of mayhem, okay, and bringing this much attention to it. So yeah, she filed for the divorce. Very good for Wendy Williams. I have always said that Wendy needed to cut the cancer. And when you do cut that cancer, isn't it amazing how, just like when you have gangrene, and you know, when you have a family member or someone that had diabetes, gangrene in their feet, okay, is traveling up, and the doctor finally says, we're going to have to amputate, or this person is going to lose a limb or possibly their life. Okay, so it comes to somewhere where it's a life and death moment like this. Very comparable to Wendy Williams' situation. She wasn't about to lose a limb. However, she was addicted to drugs, alcohol. Not was, is. You always are an addict once you become an addict. Is whether or not you were able to stay sober, okay, stay on the wagon. But yeah, comparable. You got to get rid of it, all right, so that you can begin to heal. Looks like that's where Wendy Williams is today. Okay, she looked great on her show. I mean, I was looking at it like, wow, this woman, just in a matter of a couple of weeks, okay, where even I was starting to counter out okay, and thinking that the show was over. I knew that she needed to make this decision, but I did not realize that she was, you know. And Wendy got on her damn show, was shady as fuck, wasn't she? I was just like, okay, Wendy, now see, this is what I said. I think a lot of people can appreciate when somebody recognizes the bullshit that they are in, and finally comes clean. Okay, people can only respect you for that. All right. Now, I understand people don't be ready to share their business like she said on the show. You know, you're embarrassed, you're scared, you're not ready. Okay. But all her business was out there already. It wasn't like, you know, we was still speculating. I mean, every single day it was something else. So she got on her show, she addressed it. Not necessarily still commenting about her divorce. However, she said that being in that sober house has made her, you know, analyze every compartment of her life, okay? And now she knows exactly what she wants to do for the future of herself and her son, okay? Very clearly did not add her husband, Mr. Kevin Hunter, into that. And we all know why. They're saying in the filing of this divorce that he didn't see it coming, that he thought he was going to stay on as her manager, and I guess they were going to work it out. I don't know what Mr. Kevin Hunter might have been thinking. However, in this divorce, she's asking him to move out of the house within 48 hours. That's already been done, I'm assuming. And he'll be fine because he has a whole home with his, you know, his girlfriend and the baby. So he has somewhere else to go, obviously. They're saying that Kevin Hunter had bought his girlfriend, mistress, whatever you want to call her, Sharina Hudson, a push present in the form of a $255,000 Ferrari. They're saying that it was bought under the business, and because of that, Wendy Williams had that car towed. But again, looks like he'll be fine because he looks like he has 5 or 6 or 7 cars. Every time you see them, they're in a different one. But yeah, she got that one back. And now they're saying that he's been fired. Fired might be a little premature. I think the better word to describe is that he is negotiating his exit. He was the executive producer for her show. He was her manager. And you can't just fire somebody like that. Okay, you've got to work out the financial ramifications of letting this man go. Okay, I'm sure he's going to have to get some sort of severance package. You know, he's been there from the very beginning. So it's not like we can say that he's a hangers-on, even though he is. I mean, he's helped her create much of her business. At the end of the day, Wendy Williams is Wendy Williams, and she is the talent that brings all of the business to that business, but he was a part of it. So we got to work that out. So he hasn't necessarily been fired. They're still trying to figure out what they're going to do with all of that. But in the end, he's going to be gone, y'all. He's going to be gone. I'm happy for Wendy Williams because it looks like she's got a second lease on life. At least on camera it does. Okay. It seems like a weight has been lifted off her shoulders because now she can kind of finally, still in her Wendy Williams like way, address it, not necessarily directly and head on, but you know, kind of laugh about it. Know that I'm a part of the gossip out there and the shade and the tea and all of that. And she can kind of laugh with it with her viewers, which is what people have tuned into her show to watch all this time. Okay, but like I said, I was the first to say that the show was over. The show does not look like it is going to be over. What is genius is the shit that Wendy Williams, that people hate about Wendy Williams, is also what they love about Wendy Williams, and that is her shadiness. She can work all of this going on in the gossip in her life. She can work it into the show, and we all love a good comeback. And we all hate to see a woman, okay, get cheated on by their husband and, you know, it going as far as creating a whole nother family. It's one thing to cheat. It's another thing to create a whole nother family. And thought he was going to, what was his plan, child? What was his plan? The way that everybody was watching them under a microscope, It didn't seem to affect him or Sharina. You know, they're saying that the straw that broke the camel's back was the fact that they were seen going to dinner. He was picking her up and taking her to dinner just a few days before she filed for divorce, and she was like, "This motherfucker got his goddamn nerves. Now the nigga know that we under, you know, everybody watching us. You got this new bitch. Well, she ain't new. Okay, Wendy Williams thinks that they've been seeing each other maybe for about 15 years, but he got this bitch and the new baby, and he's still out there, you know, in his Fendi head to toe." I was just like, boy, you can take the nigga out the hood, can't you? But you can't take the hood out the nigga. You got to wear all of the designer shit from head to toe. But I think that was, they're saying that was the straw. That was just like, okay, he got to go. Okay, because he ain't even trying to fake it no more. So, yeah, Wendy Williams, Kevin Hunter, no more. He's with Sharina, baby. You got him all to yourself. 100%. Okay, and as these things go, I have already said that she will eventually not want to be with him any longer. Okay, the excitement is in the you know, in the clandestine affair. Okay, the excitement is not when you got the nigga hook, line, and sinker. Okay, you see him all the time. He at the house in the morning. When you wake up, you go to bed with him every night. You can't get no break. The nigga don't have nowhere else to go. Although they say that he does. Kevin has quite a bit of rumors out there going around about him. You know, I don't honestly care about any of that. We're talking about Wendy Williams. Now, he did put out a statement, and it sounds like, you know, maybe he is willing to admit his faults. It says, and I quote, "I have dedicated most of our lives to the business empire that is Wendy Williams Hunter, a person that I truly love and respect unconditionally. I am not proud of my recent actions and take full accountability and apologize to my wife, my family, and her amazing fans. I am going through a time of self-reflection and am trying to right some wrongs. No matter what the outcome is or what the future holds, we are still the Hunter family, and I will continue to work with and fully support my wife in this business and through any and all obstacles she may face living her new life of sobriety while I also work on mine. I also ask that you please give me and my family privacy as we heal. Thank you." Oh, they want privacy, but the nigga's all over the blogs, walking down the street with his girl, picking her up, taking her to dinner. Okay, well, I guess we're gonna give you privacy. We're not really gonna do that because, like I told you, Daily Mail on the neck, foot on the neck, face on the ground. Okay, Daily Mail ain't fucking with y'all. They are definitely giving information almost hourly by hourly. Okay, so they got a lot going on, but I just feel really good for Wendy Williams. You know, I had counted her out, but it seems that Wendy Williams had a plan. That should let you know that we can't always just rely on the blogs and what people are saying. Wendy gonna be fine. Wendy gonna be fine. She gonna have to pay some money though. Okay, we can't ignore that fact. She definitely gonna have to come out of pocket because, like I said, the man has been around. They've been married 22 years. He's been around for a good amount of her career, so I don't see how she's gonna be able to shake it without, you know, even though, you know, in New Jersey, if you can prove adultery and things like that, but also drug addiction, it all weighs into how the money is split up. It was also nice to see that her and Charlemagne the God are trying to maybe mend some fences, not necessarily becoming ace boon coons any longer. I know she said that he wanted to go to dinner and they spoke for hours and all of that. Charlemagne said no, it wasn't definitely hours, but we did speak for a long time. There were some misunderstandings. He's always said the reason why he doesn't talk to Wendy Williams is because of Kevin Hunter. Okay, turns out that Kevin, you know, Charlemagne was friends with Sharina first, and they actually lived together. He introduced Sharina to Kevin. Kevin started having an affair with her. Charlemagne, you know, as her friend, knew that she was seeing other people as well. Evidently was seeing one of his other homeboys. Kevin thought that Charlemagne was hooking the two of them up and was mad at Charlemagne about that. And I'm sure many other things have happened, but it seems like ever since Kevin had thought that Charlemagne was trying to break him and Sharina up, even though he's married to Wendy Williams. He's had Charlemagne in his crosshairs ever since. And a whole lot of shit has been going on in the background that none of us even knew about. I guess Charlemagne talked about it in his book. I don't have his book. But Kevin Hunter was creating a lot of havoc in Charlemagne's life, even when it came to that whole... remember last year when they were talking about the rape, some party that he was at, and people were saying that he had raped this girl. He had always maintained he wasn't. He was never found guilty. His DNA was not in her rape kit. Yada, yada, yada. Turns out that evidently Kevin Hunter was in touch with the family of the girl, who was going around on this kind of smear campaign to try to do interviews to make Charlemagne look even worse. Yeah, Kevin Hunter supposedly was at the forefront of that campaign. So it's a whole bunch of other stuff. You guys will have to listen to Charlemagne and the Breakfast Club and all that, and find out what is, because he's been very vocal about it. But now it makes sense why Charlemagne hates Kevin Hunter so much. I think it's very big of him to realize that Wendy Williams was an innocent partner in all of that. I don't know if I would be big enough to feel like she was innocent in all of that, but I don't know all of the ins and outs of that. So I guess he's willing to just let bygones be bygones, and the two of them maybe possibly trying to work out so that they are cool with each other again, now that Kevin Hunter is gone. So yeah, so that's a good thing. But bottom line is, I'm just happy to see that Wendy Williams looks like she's happy, or she's on her way to becoming happy again. That she's working on her life. She's moving out of the sober home. I don't know what happens with her coach, but she looks like she's ready to tackle whatever comes away, and good for her. Okay, as far as Kevin Hunter, he's got a lot to deal with in his life. That's between him and his God, child. I can't really worry myself about it. I mean, there's people out there who have fucked up even worse than he has, and I guess in their own lives, in their own way, they have been able to redeem themselves, so it's not impossible. However, he need to go somewhere on his own and deal with his life and all the shit that he's done, and possibly some good come out of all of this somewhere down the line. I don't even know how to find the positive in that story for him. But good for Wendy Williams. Okay, nothing like knowing your value, knowing your worth. So congratulations to Wendy Williams. Child, I talked way too long on that Wendy Williams. Okay, Beyonce Homecoming. So it debuted on Netflix yesterday at, I guess, was it midnight Pacific time? So 3 o'clock yesterday morning, Wednesday morning, April, what's today, the 18th, 17th. I didn't stay up to watch it because I didn't stay up to watch it. It wasn't that important to me. It was on Netflix. I knew that I'd be able to watch it eventually. Last night, after I took my bath, I got in my bed and I watched The Homecoming. Or what I should say is, I fast forwarded throughout all the concert and I watched the documentary part of Homecoming. And it was cool, you guys. It was the concert, really. I was really kind of disappointed that they didn't show more of the behind the scenes. Now, I get it. They wanted it to be more artistic and, reflective of how she was feeling and what she was going through. So, I mean, I got that part. However, I just wanted more background, more behind the scenes. Okay, I just needed more of that. I wanted it to be more of a documentary, but honestly, it is more so a concert film with little tidbits thrown in about what it took for her to do this, what it meant for her to do this, why she did it. Okay, boiled down to, she always regretted that she didn't get to go to a HBCU. She was an entertainer, she was traveling, she was working, so she never went to school, but she's always loved the the swag is what she kept saying of the HBCUs and the band and the dancing dolls and, you know, all of that. So this was her way of having her own homecoming. Also, it being the homecoming of her coming back to the stage after she had her twins, something that she said completely changed her body, took her through a whole bunch of issues that she had to deal with. She had a C-section, you know, she had to connect muscles that weren't together any longer. You know, her core was completely different. She just had to work really hard to get herself back together. So all of that was nice to hear, but I wanted more. I wanted more of the background. But, you know, in true Beyonce form, bitch, you gonna get what the fuck we give you, and you're gonna be happy with that. So I was happy with it. I mean, I was happy with it. So it was cool. All right, if you guys haven't seen it yet, then you guys go on and have a look-see. But like I said, it's more so of a concert film than a documentary. But that's it. Always enjoyable, though. When I first started watching it, I was just like getting the same chills that I had before, because just watching them all up on those rafters like that. What was it? Risers like that was just, it was awe-inspiring. Okay, for her to be able to pull off. Did you guys watch the credits? All them damn dancers, all those people that was involved and having them up there on that stage. I mean, that is a big feat to pull off. So, it was good. And, you know, I always like these kind of documentary, that shows just the ins and outs. I always want to know how shit works, how it happened. And so it did give me that. Just, I needed more. Did you guys watch it, though? What did you guys think about the homecoming? Y'all leave y'all comments about it below. Congratulations are in order for Russell Wilson, and I guess we can throw Sierra on into the mix. Okay, seems that they are very happy out there in Seattle, Washington. Hey, you guys, I got family in Seattle. Hey, Deborah. Hey, Uncle Bill. Okay, Leonetta. Okay, Leo, Deborah, you know, my mama's side, all the rest of y'all out there. Shout out to my family in Seattle, Washington. My mama got people up there. That's neither here nor there. Getting back to the story, it seems that after the 11th hour, and we almost struck midnight, and the deadline for April 15th. Okay, now you guys know I don't know shit about football, so I'm just going to read this from here. They say that Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks agreed to a 4-year, $140 million deal that makes Russell Wilson the highest paid NFL player in history. Okay, that's black, white, or whatever the fuck else. It also includes $107 million in guarantees and has an additional $6 million in incentives. Okay, they also said that $65 million bonus, signing bonus, was also a record. What sealed the deal, you ask? Well, they're saying that Russell Wilson has always made it very clear that he doesn't want to leave Seattle. He has businesses there. His life is there. You know, he's got family there. He's raising his kids there. He's got his wife, you know, so he wants to stay in Seattle, Washington. And Seattle Seahawks, obviously, all that fucking money that they've given him, they want him to stay there as well. What was the nail in the coffin on the deal was that there was no trade. There's a no trade clause. He wants to stay there. Okay, he has special admiration for those sports players out there who have spent their entire career with one team. I think they said Derek Jeter was like one of his people that he truly admires. And Derek Jeter played baseball, right? Who? The Yankees? Y'all, child, don't let me get y'all don't get upset with me. I know how y'all do up in New York and New Jersey, how y'all are in Boston with y'all teams and shit. So I don't know where Derek Jeter played, but wherever he played, it was all on, his whole career was there. And they say that Russell Wilson always very much admired him about that. So yeah, they got a deal. And what a come up, right? They say that he was a 3rd round draft pick back in 2012, okay? And just in a few 7 years, He is now the highest NFL player paid in history of the game. Okay, this is just going to continue to push the envelope and push the bar, and people are going to make more and more money in the NFL. At least your elite are, and guaranteed money for him. I mean, you hear about the NFL, and one of the downfalls many times is you make your money as much as you are healthy. If something happens, then a lot of times you don't get the money that you thought you was going to get, and it's, it's unfortunate. But no, Russell Wilson was like, no, I'm going to get my money. You see, I'm happy for him, and happy for Sierra, okay, who has snagged her Prince Charming. Okay, she was on Watch What Happens Live the other day, and somebody wanted to know what was her exact prayer that she asked God for Russell Wilson, and Sierra was like, no, what you need to ask God for is what you don't want. Okay, let him work out all of the details, but be specific in the shit that you don't want anymore, because when you pray for a man and you just asking for what you do want, there's a whole bunch of don'ts come with that nigga too. Okay, so ask for what you don't want, let God figure out who's best for you, and go from there. So I'm happy for Sierra. She and Russell Wilson seem to make each other very, very happy. I'm sure this somewhere close to $200 million helps the happiness quite a bit. People say that, money is not everything. I said, oh, like, what did Kanye West say? Okay, money ain't everything, but having it is. Shit. So I'm happy for him. I'm not mad. Russell, Sierra seem to be very good people. Love each other. Love their kids. Okay, so nothing but great things and happiness for the two of them. People wanted me to give Russell Wilson fist pump of righteousness, and I was like, no, fist pump of righteousness is only reserved for the black girl magic. Okay, and I guess we could really kind of give it to Sierra, but this story is more about Russell Wilson, so he don't get a fist pump of righteousness. However, I am not mad. I'm very happy for them. It's always good to see our black brothers out there doing it, being successful, being God-fearing, being a pillar of the community and stand-up guy. He seems to be all of those things. So happy for the Wilson family. Woo-wee. $200 million, 4 years. That shit ain't bad, y'all. Since we're talking about sports, let's talk about Tiger Wilson. Tiger Wilson. While we're talking about sports, let's talk about the major comeback for Tiger Woods. Okay, congratulations to him, who won the 2019 Masters this past Sunday. Now, probably one of the biggest comebacks out there when you talk about golfing in the sports world in general. 5th green jacket of his career. Just one green jacket behind the legend Jack Nicklaus. He has 15 major wins in his golfing career. That puts him, I think they said, 3 behind Jack Nicklaus again. But he's pushed past Arnold Palmer. So, yeah, and I'm going to be the first to tell you that I didn't think that Tiger Woods would ever see a Masters win again. Okay? He hasn't won since 2008. But we all know what Tiger Woods have been through. Okay, infidelity, him and his wife breaking up, this major divorce settlement, him having back problems, him having surgeries that were not fixing the problem, him getting addicted to painkillers as a result of all these back surgeries, him being arrested with a DUI on these painkillers. I mean, y'all remember, it's been a lot. Okay, so I saw him trying to come back these last few years, and it was never working out for him. And child, the planets aligned, and the Lord was like, you know what, we gonna do it for you. Okay, he probably prayed the right prayer. Tiger had to work some things out with his God, and brother man fought a very hard fight and came back to win the game on Sunday. My son was like, Mom, I was watching it. I was at a bar and we were watching it, and he was like, everybody was screaming and yelling. He was just like, nobody could believe it. I've never been a golf person, so I wouldn't have watched it, but still, I still admire what he has come back from. Okay, and love or hate Tiger, he got a lot of shit that happened with him. Remember, I was telling you, that folks are able to redeem themselves, talking about Kevin Hunter. Okay, well, Tiger Woods was very much hated, very much hated. And we're not even sure if a lot of that might have been exaggerated, because they were saying that Tiger Woods let them tell it, he was fucking every blonde white woman out there. The motherfucker was at the store, he'd pick up a couple of them, you know. So he was very much hated, and look at what has happened in, what, 11 years later. So it's not impossible. Not comparing the two. You know, I'm just making a observation there. But happy for Tiger Woods. He looked very happy. He hugged his kids afterwards. And I'm sure has brought much of his life into perspective. People are trying to figure out if this might be a fluke or if he's back. Well, time will tell. But I know it can't be easy to win a fucking Masters. So we're not going to say that this is luck. This is hard work. This is talent. This is a God-given gift that this boy has. I shouldn't say boy, he's a grown man, but a God-given gift that this man has, and he was able to let it shine on past Sunday. So congratulations to Tiger Woods, 2019 Masters champion. And while we're talking about sports, let's just round it off with Reggie Bush's dumb ass. You know, I don't know why I've never really seen it for Reggie Bush. It's just been something about him that I ain't never hated the man, but something about him I just never really connected and like that. But whatever. You guys know Nipsey Hussle, when he died, people were moved to do all types of things. It's very understandable. Reggie Bush and his wife evidently were affected by his death, like many of us were, and wanted to do something to help. So Reggie Bush, who is very much a quiet and usually is not into social media and out there like that, took to his social media and decided that he wanted to start a GoFundMe campaign for Nipsey Hussle's children, wanted to assure that they'd be okay in the future, said that him and his wife would give $10,000 to kick off the campaign, and that they were hoping to raise $100,000 for his children in a trust fund. Okay, all very nice, all very good. However, evidently he had been in contact with some parts of Nipsey Hussle's family. Not sure if it was Lauren London or somebody else. I don't know if the conversation wasn't an official conversation, if he addressed them in a way of saying, listen, we are going to do this, or if he may have spoken to somebody and just like, we really want to do something special. Never was really specific in what he wanted to do. They probably said, oh no, you don't have to do anything like that, but he still was moved to do so, wants to raise $100,000. Well, after he put that video out, the family, under Karen Civil, who was obviously speaking for this family. She was very close with Nipsey Hussle, close with this family, and I believe that they have allowed her to speak to the public in their place. She asked him to please take the video down, take the GoFundMe campaign down, because the family has asked you not to do this, and you decided to do it anyway. Okay, now I don't know what happened in the conversation between that tweet and then the next tweet from Reggie Bush, who was so offended, like, wait a minute, okay, what do me and my wife have to gain from this? All right, you can ask anybody. I'm not doing anything, you know, just for me. This is for his kids, and I'm paraphrasing. But when I saw that, I'm thinking to myself, like, why are you going off? And first of all, ain't nobody even said that you was gaining anything from it. They just said, please take it down because we asked you not to do this. Okay? Ain't nobody said that you was getting a little bit off the damn $100,000 for his kids. And, I mean, to keep it real with you guys, what is $100,000 to a family who's a millionaire family? Okay? Now, his businesses was in the hood. He doesn't live in the hood any longer. He went home to the hood to help out. Okay? But Nipsey Hussle has been very vocal on making sure that his family, that people made, that he was preparing his family for situations just like this. If he's not here anymore, he wants to make sure that everybody is okay. All right? So, really, $100,000, we don't need it. Thank you, but we don't need it. Okay? And $100,000 to a millionaire is not a whole bunch of money. You guys, you know, it's almost sort of just like all the niggas out there, they broke. You know, the kids, they daddy been gone on. He was a crip, you know. So let's just try to get this $100,000 together. I wouldn't have looked at it that way had he not come back and tried to get all funky and shit. But then once he got all funky and shit, I was just like, oh, so you thought you'd throw the kids, you know, this little $100,000 and maybe that'll help them, you know, put a down payment. I mean, and that's a, you know, a down payment on a house in the hood or something. $100,000 is not going to do much. So when they ask you to take it down, don't get all in your fucking feelings and get your panties in a bunch and get all upset. Take the shit down. You ain't got, we ain't got time to be sitting up here arguing. People are still grieving. People are still upset and sad. Okay? So he went all off, and you best believe it had all this type of element in the words that he put out there. Karen Civil came back and said, listen, nigga. Okay, I'm paraphrasing for you because this is what she wanted to say. Ain't nobody damn said that your ass was getting anything out of this. I said take the shit down, okay? Motherfucker want to act like he was besties with Nipsey Hussle. However, when y'all was in the damn gym, did you ever even say hi to him? No. Okay? So don't be up here now after the fact trying to get some money for the kids. We thank you, but we don't need it. Okay? This is not the time or the place for the drama. Okay, like I just said, it's people out there grieving and you want to fucking argue over $100,000 to this millionaire family? Cut it out, please. All right. So after I saw that, I was just like, he is so damn stupid. He took the video down, but he brought all this unnecessary attention to himself. You know, if you want to give money, give to a foundation that's going to help kids that truly need it. His kids don't need it. And that's just the bottom line. So I just was like, what is wrong with Reggie Bush? Nigga, no, you did not bitch out like that. Oh, yeah. What do I have to gain from this? If you don't go to fuck somewhere. Maybe he felt like inspired because there was a story going around that said Jay-Z was, or Rock Nation had started a trust fund as well. And they came out and said, no, we did not. Even if they did decide to do something, I'm sure it would not be out there in the news. But I'm sure that if people want to help, then stay true to his cause. What do they say? The marathon continues, right? Okay, give to the foundation. Give to what he wanted to happen, which was helping that community. Okay? The kids are going to be okay. So thank you, but no thank you, Reggie Bush. Every time we think that we didn't, you know, stop talking about old Jussie Smollett, then something else happens to bring him back to the news. This time, though, it's actually about Kim Foxx. You guys know that she is the prosecutor. She is the DA that was in charge out there in Chicago, who recused herself in February after the attack happened because she was too close to the family. Now, after they had subpoenaed her text messages, they were released to the public yesterday, and it looks like Kim Foxx was still involved in the case behind closed doors with her team. Even if she was not representing in the public, she was still talking about the case with her team. So they released text messages between her and her top assistant, Joseph Maggots. Or maggots. It looks like it's maggots. I'm sure that's probably not it. Magats. One of the specific text messages that they are speaking about was on March 8th. Okay, remember she had recused herself beginning of February. March 8th, she sent messages to him saying basically they had overcharged Jussie Smollett. And even if they rightfully could do that legally, it doesn't necessarily mean that they should do it. And then she went on to compare the charges with Jussie Smollett with R. Kelly. Okay, she said a pedophile with 4 victims and only got 10 counts. Okay, a washed up celebrity who lied to the police has 16 counts. Okay, so when she was comparing the two, one way more serious a matter than the other, you know, was it necessarily fair that they did charge him with 16 counts? Okay, of a misdemeanor thing, and nobody got hurt, you know, all of that. And remember, we all was talking about feeling like he was overcharged. So she also spoke about Avenatti evidently at one point was going to represent the Nigerian boys. So she was also letting her partner know that. But now that these text messages have come out, she said, after the indictment became public, I reached out to Joe to discuss reviewing office policies to assure consistencies and our use of appropriate charging authority. Okay, she said she was hired to be consistent and use discretion, and she will continue to do so. So she doesn't think that she did anything wrong here. And really, I don't think that what they were talking about was wrong or even a problem. But the issue here is when you recuse yourself, you cannot speak about the case any longer. And you definitely can't speak on the record, even though her text messages obviously are off the record, but your text messages is on something. So that is on the record at the end of the day, because if they subpoena it, now we can see it. All right. So if you was going to be wanting to talk to Joe about it, then you should have called the nigga on the phone and talked to him like that. Or even better, talk to him face to face. Okay. Pat him down, make sure he ain't wearing a wire. But really nothing is truly off the record anymore. Cameras are around, text messages definitely is not off the record any longer. So, yeah, subpoenaed. We see what she was talking about. I wonder how Jussie Smollett feels with her saying that he's a washed up celebrity. I'm like, damn, is the boy washed up? I mean, he wasn't washed up at the time. He might not have been on many people's radar, but most people liked Jussie Smollett, so I don't think he's washed up. He might be washed up now. But yeah, so that's what the issue is there. Whether or not she should have been talking about it at all. There's so much shit going on in Chicago with Kim Foxx and that Smollett case. Okay, I'm sure they wish that shit would just die down, but it looks like Chicago police is really not trying to let it happen. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, that's the 411 on who dropped kick who. Okay, shout out to Riri. Franklin, that is. Aretha Franklin. And then lastly, you guys, let me hurry up because I'm afraid my car gonna run out of gas. It's hot as fuck. I had to turn my air back on. There will be no Insecure. Okay, no Issa Rae, no Lawrence, none of the rest of them in 2019. Okay, the show is not scheduled to come back to HBO until 2020. And people are bummed about that. But you guys know Issa Rae is in very high demand right now. HBO has seemed to put all of their attention on Game of Thrones. So they've decided to put her on hold, let her work on some, other projects outside. She has this movie that she's in right now. She's got some other things that we've talked about in the past of her writing and producing and making all these other projects happen. So, yeah, Issa Rae says, you know what? I ain't got time for Insecure right now. And honestly, I feel like she probably can take a little break and come back fresh. They're saying that that's what she wants to do. People were not necessarily the happiest with last season. And at least I should say she had way more critics last season than she had before then. So maybe it is time to kind of just regroup and figure out the directions of all of the people on the show, the characters on the show. And sometimes you just need to step away from it so that you can get your mind right and get your writing, cojones back so that you bring a show that everybody is going to enjoy. So 2020. Another show that's not coming back most likely until 2020 is Atlanta. Love that show. I don't review the show or anything, but that is a show that I definitely loved, and it was sort of sad to see that it wasn't coming back till, well, at least they don't think it is. They've been real kind of leery about what they're gonna do. It has definitely been approved for next season. They just don't know when, but it don't look like it's happening to 2020, and many for the same reasons. The Childish Gambino, Donald Glover, whatever you want to call him, he's busy. Okay, he's working. He just released this movie on Amazon Prime with Rihanna. Evidently, it's a beautifully, shot film, and it was like he near and dear to his heart. And he just put that out. Even though he told us he wasn't making any more albums, now they're saying that Childish Gambino is making another album. And again, he is also in high demand. So, gonna have to put Atlanta on the back burner. He wasn't even really involved in the show last season. If you guys remember, they made the show much about his friends on the show, the characters on the show with not Earn, but Paperboy and what's the other ones that was in there with Teddy Perkins and all of that. So they made a lot of the show focus more on them because he was making Star Wars and he was doing other things. So it will definitely come back, but not till next. And good again. Okay, we like to see our black brothers and sisters out there making it happen. And having a good strong foothold, and both of them are very highly respected in the industry, and I like to see things like that. So you guys gonna be all right. 2020, okay, it'll be here before you know it. Damn it, we almost at the end of April. Shit, you might as well say it's gonna be summer, then it's gonna be fall, then it's gonna be Christmas, then it'll be 2020, and y'all will get your favorite show. So y'all be all right, just be patient. Stars, that is it. Let me get off of here. Gotta run in PetSmart and then take it on back to work. Okay, we do this every single week, so make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Until next time, rock stars. Bye.